This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. Lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Welcome back to the Special Chronicles Podcast, where we're giving respect and voice to people with special needs. I'm your host, Daniel Smrokowski. On today's episode, we're bringing you an encore presentation of a keynote talk that I gave at the Speak Up and Speak Out Summit in 2020, a statewide self-advocacy conference presented by the ALC of Illinois and funded by the Illinois Council on Developmental Disabilities. In this keynote talk, I share the origin story of Special Chronicles, reflect on nearly 2 decades of our mission of giving respect and voice to people with disabilities through digital media storytelling, and offer tips for creating social change. You'll also hear me respond to questions during a live Q&A with the virtual Zoom webinar audience. And to close out, you'll hear musician Peter Leidy perform his original song, Speak Up and Speak Out, which he recorded live at the summit on November 17th, 2020. Stay tuned. This is a powerful keynote talk that you won't want to miss right now. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be on a podcast? Well, you are about to see. I will be producing a podcast right now, and you are all my guests. I'll start with my intro in 3, 2, 1. Cue the intro music.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Podcasting since 2008. This is the show where we're broadcasting disability stories from an insider's perspective, and we are giving a voice to people with special needs. This is your weekly guide to find and joy, acceptance, and inclusion.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. Lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
We are recording live from the Speak Up, Speak Out virtual summit. I'd like to welcome all of my Speak Up, Speak Out guests to the Special Chronicles show. First, a little background about Special Chronicles. Welcome, good morning, friends. My name is Daniel Smrokowski. I am the founder of Special Chronicles and a Southern Shriver International Global Messenger with Special Olympics, and the Self-Advocacy Award 2020 recipient from the ALC of Illinois. I'd like to tell you this morning about how I came to be a leader for social change through my media platform, Special Chronicles. And then I'd like to share with you practical tips on how you can become a self-advocate for social change. A brief podcast programming note. The Speak Up and Speak Out Summit is funded by Illinois Council on Developmental Disabilities. We thank them for the generous support of this conference presented by the ALC of Illinois. Learn more at speakupandSpeakoutSummit.org. That's speakupandSpeakoutSummit.org. Support for this podcast comes from listeners like you. Please join our supporters and support this podcast today. Your generous financial support helps us to produce these high-quality podcasts, videos, and blogs for you free of charge for the past 12 years to listen, and helps us to operate our studio, reaching over 42,000 listeners per month. Support this podcast today at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give. Next slide, please. Podcasting for social change. This is what I'm actually going to be talking about in other words, this is the mission I founded, the mission I created 12 years ago this month of November. Next slide, please. Let me take you back to where and how I started this global digital media podcast platform. 12 years ago, I was in my first year of college at Roosevelt University in Chicago. I started listening to podcasts and discovered there weren't many of our disability self-advocate voices being heard. And many times in the mainstream media, including podcasts, there was a lack of understanding for those of us with disabilities. I was diagnosed with developmental delays and learning disabilities and a severe language disorder. For example, on one podcast I listened to, an airline pilot had called into a podcast, a different podcast, and used the R word, retarded. Once he began listening to the very first podcast I produced 12 years ago, he reached out to me and told me that his perspective had changed. This motivated me to continue to use the media as a powerful platform for social change. Next slide, please. At the same time I was in my first year of college, I became an athlete leader in Special Olympics, Illinois. This meant giving speeches to community groups. I recorded the audio of these speeches and started uploading them as podcasts. Next slide, please. At first, it was me talking about my story of having developmental delays. Listeners across the globe began sending me messages of support that their perspectives had changed by listening to my story. Some of these were special education teachers, parents, and individuals with disabilities, to name a few. Next slide, please. Once I began communicating with these people who offered their feedback and their own stories, I decided to record conversations with them as podcasts. I like the word conversations better than interviews because it sounds more engaging to me as a listener. I'm still today in contact with the airline pilot whose perspective on disability had changed. To this day, he continues to support my media platform. I'd like to share with you a brief video clip of a few listeners, a few of our supporters at Special Chronicles that are going to briefly talk about the impact that Special Chronicles is making on the community. We'll hear from one of our board members and who also volunteers and helps to produce some of our shows, Dalian and her daughter Joelle, who is diagnosed with, her daughter Joelle is diagnosed with Williams syndrome. And then we'll hear from my good friend. I just got off a call with Tim Shriver, chairman of Special Olympics, just like 30 minutes ago. And then finally, Ben and Amy Wright. You may know them. They are the founders of Biddy and Bowls Coffee. But I actually, they were actually guests. They were podcast guests before they even started Biddy and Bowls Coffee. So I'd like to share that video. You can just click play and here we go.
Special Chronicles is a wonderful platform for people with special attributes to share their amazing stories. It is inspiring and uplifting for me to hear from people from all around the nation about their great accomplishments. Keep doing what you're doing. Continue to give this wonderful community a place to share their successes and voice what is important to them.
Hey guys, it's Joelle, and I'm honored to have been a special guest on Special Chronicles, And I would love to see others with special needs on Special Chronicles, because I think it's amazing. And in the future, I would like to see a show about bullying, and bullying needs to stop.
Hi, Daniel. It's your great friend and admirer, Tim Shriver, here in support of Special Chronicles, in support of Daniel's advocacy for a changed world, in support of the whole idea of Daniel using the web, using his writing, using his speaking, using his podcasting, using his photography, using his voice, finding his voice and using it to ask the world to be inspired, to create blaze fests of inspiration all over the internet and all over the United States. Here in Special Olympics, we like to think of ourselves as having a blast with everything we do, playing sports, to enjoy ourselves, to learn and meet other people, to test ourselves against tough competition, and I think in the end of the day, to change hearts and minds, to have other folks realize that there's a common human spirit, that nothing should separate us from one another. Daniel, that's what you're doing. You're inspiring people to understand common human gifts. You're inspiring people to believe in a common human hope. You're inspiring people to have fun in achieving common human fun. And you're inspiring us to change all those outdated, painful, and unjust attitudes that lead us to separate us from one another. The whole world of Special Olympics joins me in saying, go Daniel, go Special Chronicles. You will be a success. You will make a difference, and you will change the world. Why? Am I so sure? I'm so sure because your voice has been raised, and your voice is true. And when a true voice, an authentic voice is raised in pursuit of a great mission, it will change the world. Go for it, Daniel. We're all behind you.
I can tell you one of the things we're definitely going to do, Daniel, is we're going to have them sit and watch all of your podcasts to see how it's done, because you are doing a fantastic job and are a tremendously good role model for them, and shows them that really you can do just about anything you put your mind to, and that clearly is what you're doing here. So that's one thing we're going to do, is let them watch your work, what you've already done and what you're currently doing and what you'll do in the future. So just the time we've spent with you today and the fact that you're doing what you're doing and using the internet and leveraging it in such a powerful and positive way is what will help us attain our goal and our dream of getting people's perceptions and the way they frame people with special needs and different intellectual and developmental disabilities differently. And we just encourage you to keep on doing what you're doing, because it's good work, it's powerful work, it's well done, and you are the tip of the spear. And thank you for being that.
Thank you.
For people like us.
Next slide, please. Back in college at Roosevelt University, I began working at the student-run radio station behind the scenes doing techno support. I was hesitant to host my own radio show because of a fear of listeners not understanding me due to my severe language disorder, which includes stuttering. I often tell audiences that communication is my biggest struggle, but it's also my biggest passion. One of my college instructors encouraged me to host my own radio show, since college radio is all about having a diverse voices on the airwaves. Also, since the university has a social justice mission, I felt empowered to give hosting a radio show a try. Another one of my college professors, who was a Chicago Sun-Times columnist, taught me for several journalism classes. One of his own children has learning disabilities. He broadened my journalistic skills in using multiple forms of media in telling stories. Next slide, please. After my first year of college, I further refined the mission of my media platform. A cousin of mine encouraged me to create the name Special Chronicles based on both my love of storytelling and the Special Olympics movement. Next slide, please. The Special Chronicles platform allowed me to combine a lot of worthwhile things. For example, when I was asked to speak to various law enforcement groups, I could then not only give a speech in front of the officers, but also I could upload the audio and in that way broadcast my support for the law enforcement torch run, which is one of the largest grassroots fundraisers for Special Olympics. Special Olympics Illinois, by the way, has one of the largest partnerships with the law enforcement torch run. As Special Olympics would train new athletes to become athlete leaders like myself, I was able to build their confidence and give them more public speaking opportunities by having them as guests on podcasts. And some of them were even guest co-hosts. Next slide, please. Another example of having Special Chronicles be more than just weekly podcast episodes is when I was able to be reporting on the ground, holding a microphone in crowds of people. One event was the Chicago Ducky Derby, a large fundraising event benefiting Special Olympics Illinois. By me being there with a microphone, it built on the excitement for the attendees and brought leadership opportunities beyond sport. For myself and others with intellectual disabilities. Next slide, please. Another event, this time on a global scale, was the Special Olympics World Games in July 2015 that took place in Los Angeles, California, which is just outside of, actually, fun fact, where I was born in Long Beach, California. So it was neat to go back there 25 years after I was born. This was me once again reporting on the ground with a microphone in hand, in crowds of athletes and supporters, as you see pictured here. I believe I contributed to making this worldwide event more of a personal event with a feeling of family togetherness because of connections that got made around my microphone. Like you see here on the left, picture of me talking with a fellow Special Olympics athlete from France. In the middle, I am talking with my good buddy Tim Shriver Jr., that's Tim's son, and his daughter Caroline Shriver. And then on the far right, with a translator, I talked with a few fellow basketball players from Italy. Next slide, please. Unknown to me at the time, this experience of me being on location as a podcaster built my resume and gave me contacts within the international headquarters office of Special Olympics. Some of these contacts feel like they knew me because of the live podcasting, the daily podcasts, probably one of the only daily podcasts on location in Los Angeles during the Special Olympics World Games. You see here on the left, picture of me with my friend Joelle. That is Darian's daughter. You heard Joelle speak in that previous video. At the top is Ryan. Ryan works in the communications at Special Olympics International. Down below is Rob. He is from a company called Spirit Juice Studios in Chicago, and they actually are the ones that actually filmed the intro trailer that you see if you go to the homepage on SpecialChronicles.com. And then finally, this picture is with me with Danielle. She is a fellow Special Olympics athlete leader from Minnesota, and the awesome moment in this hallway when, like, this was the first time that so previously I talked to her on Skype in the past, but this is the first time we met in person, and like we both instantly knew each other when we met in person. Another brief, I don't have a picture of this other person, but an athlete leader from New York. We were at the final leg of the torch run. for Special Olympics World Games in Los Angeles. And I went up to her to do an on-the-street interview, and she knew exactly who I was. She knew what Special Chronicles was because she had been listening. She had been watching the programs that I was doing. And I was in shock because I didn't expect to meet a fan on the streets of downtown Los Angeles, California. Next slide, please. I'd like to share with you a brief 1-minute video clip that talks about connections being made around the microphone. Connections is the key word there. Connections around the microphone. This is a excerpt. It's just a brief 1 to 2 minute video clip from a Special Chronicles vlog that I produced live from Los Angeles. So in addition to the daily audio podcast, I produced a vlog that's on the Special Chronicles YouTube channel. It's still up there. It's a playlist on the channel, and we talked. It's titled "Sharing the Joy and Cookies with Generation Unified," and you will understand why I said "sharing the joy and cookies," because there's a fun little comedic bit that we did in this video. So with that, we'll share with you a brief video clip from this vlog in Los Angeles.
Genuine Youth Summit. It's basically 150 plus youth leaders from around the world coming together to share how they are or how they want to change their community. And it's actually really awesome. Homeboy left his cookie here.
Oh, somebody just lost their cookie.
Sorry, thank you.
That's okay, you lost your cookie anyway, pal. Snooze you lose.
Snooze you lose, right?
I think that was covered in one of those summits today. Don't leave your food next to your interviewee.
That's one of the things we tell people.
Yeah.
Don't leave your food next to anybody, especially me.
Especially if you're interviewing them.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but that fits perfectly how in Special Olympics we share our joy.
My joy is cookies, so you just
well, there you go.
We share our joy.
But it's true.
Perfect.
It is a family unit.
True.
For never being involved in Special Olympics before, and I've only been here for 2 days, I've already met so many amazing people. I've already made so many great connections that it is something that I'm definitely going to look into when I get.
And next slide, please. A few years later, I was asked to apply for something very prestigious. And because of these contacts remembered me from Los Angeles as part of the greater Special Olympics family, and also because I already had this international experience, I was able to win one of the prestigious appointments as a Southern Shriver International Global Messenger. I am one of 10 Special Olympics athletes from across the globe that serve in this full year. Actually now, you guys are hearing it for the first time. Term got extended to a 5th year until the end of 2023. I am there's 10 of us that are Southern Shriver International Global Messengers. So we'll be in 2022 going to Kazan, Russia for the World Winter Games, and 2023 going to Berlin for the World Games in 2023. So, and a bunch of other events like the most likely the USA Games in Orlando, and a bunch of other events that come up all the time in a busy schedule. Next slide, please. During my time at Special Olympics World Games in Abu Dhabi as a Southern Shriver International Global Messenger, I co-hosted the Abu Dhabi Daily Show, a video podcast series on SpecialOlympics.org. I'd like to share a clip with you of my conversation with Special Olympics board member Mark Shriver, who is the brother of Chairman Tim Shriver, both sons of Special Olympics founder Eunice Kennedy Shriver. Mark and I spoke after a young athletes event. I was a co-MC at this event. And I'd like to share a brief clip of this conversation with Mark Shriver.
An athletes program.
Sure. And you wrote a book about your dad and as well, Southern Shriver,
yes,
International Global Messengers.
Yes.
named after your dad. What do you think your dad's influence was on Special Olympics?
Well, I know his influence is going to live on forever because it's with people like you, Daniel. When you are out giving speeches, doing podcasts like this, getting the message out about inclusion, about making sure that we all feel part of a big global family, that's Daddy's real legacy. It's not building buildings, it's touching people. It's when you're a global messenger and sending that message all around the world, that's what would make him really proud.
Absolutely.
So thank you for carrying on his legacy, because it's about touching people's hearts, it's about spreading love, it's about including all of us in society, and you're spreading that message.
Thank you. I'm really honored and grateful to be an international global messenger.
We're honored and grateful that you are one, because it takes a lot of work, so thank you.
Next slide, please. Would now like to... And you want to talk about your... There we go. Would now like to take a brief podcast sponsor break to hear a message from our sponsor, ComEd Energy Force Program. I'd like to just briefly share with you that the ComEd Energy Force Program is the country's first energy efficiency education program that is designed and taught by those of us with disabilities. And we are in our third year. I should know this. I should have asked my business manager, but third year of partnership with ComEd. And it's this video message, this sponsor break, was actually a result of COVID-19 and this global pandemic, since we couldn't be at events. So we'd like to take a short sponsor break. You're listening to the Special Chronicles show live, virtually, from the Speak Up and Speak Out Summit, virtually on Zoom. We'll be right back right here on SpecialChronicles.com. In a moment.
Hi, my name is Lisa Noble, and I'm a ComEd Energy Force Ambassador and an athlete with Special Olympics Illinois.
Hi, my name is Daniel Smrokowski, and I also am a ComEd Energy Force Ambassador and founder of a company called Special Chronicles.
The ComEd Energy Force program is a program that hires people with disabilities to teach the public how to save energy and money.
It's the country's first energy efficiency program of its kind.
Saving energy is especially important while everyone is at home due to COVID-19. We're using more electricity than ever before. Just think about how many more times you are opening the refrigerator door these days.
And while the economy is stressed, it's more critical than ever to save money where we can. Following these tips can save energy and money in this time of COVID-19.
Wash your clothes in cold water and use the dryer sparingly.
Your dryer can take up to 7 times more energy than the washer.
Turn off and unplug any electrical devices or power strips you are not using.
Electrical devices can continue to zap power even when turned off if they're still plugged in. We call them vampire devices.
Use LED bulbs.
They use 25% less energy than incandescent bulbs and last up to 25 times longer, saving you lots of money over time.
Keep your refrigerator between 35 and 38 degrees.
And be sure to use Energy Star appliances.
And last but not least, check out ComEd.com/home savings for more tips and rebates.
Lisa and I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to us today.
Remember, we are all in this together.
Stay healthy.
And stay safe.
Bye. You can learn more about the ComEd Energy Force program at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. And now a brief PSA for the inclusion revolution.
We're not just athletes.
We are the ambassadors of an uprising.
Peaceful protesters.
In a rebellion against anyone
who has a fear of difference.
Difference. Our demands are
equality,
dignity,
and the recognition of our shared humanity.
We will not stop or accept anything less.
Today, our world is
more divided than ever,
and coming together has never been more urgent.
The revolution is inclusion. Find out more at jointherevolution.org.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
You're listening to the Special Chronicles show live from the 2020 Speak Up and Speak Out Summit virtually. And my name is Daniel, founder of Special Chronicles and a Southern Tribal International Global Messenger of Special Olympics, and the 2020 Self-Advocacy Award winner from the Elk of Illinois. Next slide, please. Well, I'd like to finally share with you some tips for social change. First of all, next slide, please. Almost forgot about that one. First of all, when it comes to some tips and tools for advocating for social change, my number one recommendation is to just take a big interest in other people and their stories and who they are as individuals. If I didn't have a natural interest in other people and in sharing their stories, I wouldn't have thought to reach out to individuals such as Tim Shriver, chairman of Special Olympics, Anthony Kennedy Shriver, founder, chairman, and CEO of Bus Buddies International, Mark Shriver, board member of Special Olympics, Apollo Ono, 8-time Olympic medalist, John Ross Bowie from ABC's Speechless and CBS's The Big Bang Theory, the cast of the Emmy-winning docuseries Born This Way on A&E, Emmy-winning television creator Jonathan Moe, and fellow Special Olympics athletes. Like you see here, the middle top picture is with me with my awesome friend, Kira Byland. Kira is a fellow Special Olympics athlete leader. Kira has actually won at 2 different World Games in Los Angeles and Abu Dhabi. She has won 6 gold medals in cycling. The other one to the right of that is with me, with my friend, my good international global messenger colleagues, Emmanuel from Brazil and Ian from Great Britain. And then down below, I did a live podcast from the Inclusive Youth Leadership Summit a year ago. And that was fun. We did that in front of a live audience back when we could do live podcasts in front of an audience. Boy, do I miss that. And then finally, that's me with Apollo Ono, 8-time Olympic medalist. Next slide, please. A second tip for how to advocate for social change is to feel comfortable utilizing various outlets to communicate, such as in person, email, and social media. Communication can take many forms: person to person, email, or social media. Effective communication, of course, includes listening as its biggest component. When you listen and then you ask thoughtful questions for your guests and audience, you show them that you value their input and humanity. Good leaders of social change don't just communicate information to their audience, they also make sure the audience buys into the vision. Next slide, please. A third and final tip for how to advocate for social change is to be open to joining forces with like-minded organizations and individuals. I decided too long ago not to worry about defending the boundaries of Special Chronicles to freely flow back and forth across the lines of other entities. For example, many times I join with the Special Olympics movement to tell the stories of individuals with intellectual disabilities, from World Games to a major anniversary event to local games. A second example was when I partnered with ComEd, a local utility company, in becoming an energy force ambassador to communicate with the public how to save energy and money. In return, they supported the work of Special Chronicles. Even though ComEd's energy methods might seem different than from Special Chronicles' message for the disability community, it's mutually beneficial to connect with companies who care for social change movements. I get exposure for Special Chronicles because I'm at events pre-COVID. Sitting at the ComEd table, talking to the public. And in return, ComEd owns goodwill from the public who sees a partnership with those of us with disabilities. And also, I do public service, sponsored commercials, like you heard just previously, on energy-saving tips. And thank ComEd for their sponsorship at the same time. And a new company that is United Airlines. United just recently, as you all know, October was National Disability Employment Awareness Month, and United joined with us at Special Chronicles to co-produce the Unified at Work podcast original series. This is I'm one of 4 Special Olympics athletes to actually work at United Airlines as Special Olympic Service ambassadors. And so we wore masks and we hand sanitized the microphones, but they shared this on their internal communications. They shared it externally. They even included it in a video that has reached over 20,000 views about the 4 of us ambassadors. So United has not partnered yet, but they have co-produced this Unified at Work series, and so it's awesome to really connect with all of these organizations who really care about making social change happen and making inclusion just a way of life that I'm sure all of you know about. Next slide, please. If you would like to connect with me, you can follow me at Podman Dan on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, at Daniel Smrokowski on LinkedIn, Facebook, and WhatsApp. You can email me, daniel@specialchronicles.com. You can take a screenshot or picture of this slide if you like. You can also go to specialchronicles.com to follow our podcast network on all the social media, and subscribe to our newsletter. So subscribe and listen to our podcasts for free and on demand. You can text me. I am the first Special Olympics athlete to have to use this new app called Community that allows my fans to text me without having my actual number. So it is the we or me. So you can text me anytime at 630-280-3082. So I hope you all will grab your phone and text me at 630-280-3082. And also make sure to visit specialchronicles.com to listen, watch, and subscribe to my podcast. If you know of an individual or group whose story that needs to be told, get in touch with me. Thank you for listening to me today. Share the Special Chronicles story and provide you with practical tips for social change. Next slide, please. And let's open it up for questions now. Thank you. Boy, that is the best applause that I've heard in a long time, since I haven't been able to speak in person. So,
if anybody has any questions, you can put them in the chat box.
I don't really have the chat box up, so somebody will have to feed me questions.
How long were you a Special Olympics athlete?
I have been an athlete for, oh boy, I had a lot more hair back then. Let's see. There you go. Let's see. 15 for about 15 years now. I've been a Special Olympics athlete. I think about 15 years. It's hard to remember exactly how long ago.
Okay. Do you have special equipment to do a podcast?
So you can see some of the equipment here. I have this microphone and this it's called a boom arm. So that way I don't have to. I used to have it on my desk, but like there was a lot of you could probably hear that tap, and so the microphone would really be distracting for the listener. But I'm going to try to pan this down a little bit, or at least maybe change the camera angle a little bit. I just got this at the beginning of this year, and it's called a Rodecaster Pro. I can record right into it, and that's how I can click the audio clips. I've got microphone channels and record and see the audio waves, and then I upload it and hear it. Yeah, so like this right now, this keynote, I will be putting it up hopefully later today as a podcast.
Okay, so someone is asking, we know there's different services out there for podcasts. So what service do you publish your show?
So I use a few things. I use and it's now even easier than when I started 12 years ago. But I use WordPress, and there's a hosting company for the website that it is kind of expensive. Even the nonprofit discount is going up. But WordPress is so like that's where I put it like on the website, and then the kind of like, as you all know about Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Stitcher and iHeartRadio, all the different apps that you listen to podcasts on your phone. I used to publish the audio files to a free service called archive.org, but now I actually am paying to host those media. I should say Special Chronicles is now paying for it, and so it's really thanks to our listeners and our sponsors that are actually helping to make it possible, because it costs money to get these audio podcasts online, but now I am using a service called Podbean to actually host the media files, and that's just kind of behind the scenes. But really, it's the WordPress website that is how it goes out. And so, like for example, on the iPhone, if you go in the Apple Podcast app and search for Special Chronicles Network, you will find not only the Special Chronicles show, but you will find my girlfriend and I she's pictured up there. I don't know if you can see her, but we do a show called it was the Daniel and Georgia show. Now it's the fans voted to change the name. It's the Georgia and Daniel show. So she won there. I'm so excited about that. Can you tell? Her name has to go first, right? Apparently. But yeah, there's that show. But then you also find the Unified at Work show. We also have a show with all our shows related to ComEd, Special Olympics USA. Our national team that goes to the World Games. We've got a podcast dedicated to that. I have one for that's called Daniel's SSIGM Journal. There's that. I'm missing a few shows, but it's all listed on specialchronicles.com.
Okay, I got one more question. How did you come up with the name or the idea of Special Chronicles?
So I shared a little bit previously on one of the slides, but I was at my cousin's house on the East Coast, and And he kind of helped to encourage me to really change the name and really refine the mission of Special Chronicles. And it came because of both. I used the thesaurus to actually help to kind of come up with a name, and it's a small little book. I still have it, and it's because of my love of storytelling and my love of the Special Olympics movement. So I really, as someone who likes to write, I used to keep a journal, and so that's kind of like where the Chronicles part comes in, because of that love of storytelling. And then the Special, that's really a tribute to my love of the Special Olympics movement. So we are not a formal partner with them. It's more of a kind of like what I showed previously. The lines are really kind of interconnected just because of that love of the Special Olympics movement and really that love of storytelling. That's really, when it comes down to it, how I came up with not just the name of Special Chronicles, but really how this mission has evolved the past 12 years, and we're going to continue because with these programs, and we're going to be hopefully adding some new shows from a friend of mine in Great Britain, another friend of mine in Australia, and we'll always add in some new, not just new podcasts, but also we have some people that are writing blogs for us, producing videos, and yeah.
Okay, I have two more questions. One is my own, but I'm going to read one that says here, is it easy to make a podcast episode?
Great question. So it took me a while to figure out how this all works. And 12 years ago, it was challenging, but now for you, it's even easier. And I'm going to recommend an app that I haven't really used, but I have heard a lot of other people that, a lot of other ads for it, and a lot of other people that use this. And it's an app that I think all of you can really easily download and really start. That will make it easy for all of you self-advocates that are on this, that are attending this conference, can use. And it's called Encore. It's A-N, I don't know if we can put it in the chat, but it's A-N-C. Sorry, I am double checking that it is A-N-C-H. Oh, well, I just put it up. But it's A-N-C-H. O-R, always in respect, A-N-C-H-O-R. And if you search for that app and download that, you can not only recode it, but it will also push it out to all the podcast platforms out there, like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and iHeartRadio. And so I highly recommend that you all first figure out what your mission is, whether it's sharing your story, whether it's talking about whatever topic that you're interested in, but first figure out what that mission for your podcast is going to be. And when you download that Encore app, start your podcast. There was a lot more back 12 years ago when I started. There wasn't a lot of those of us with disabilities that had podcasts. I was one of the first, and now there are more that are. The link is in the chat. So if anybody wants to grab that link, but now there are more of us self-advocates that are starting podcasts, and we need. I'm just one, and we have a small team, but we have. The more of us self-advocates that are sharing our voices, not just in the disability community, but the great thing about podcasts is it goes out to the mainstream public, right? And so it goes out to the mainstream community. So with more people, and you can do video too, like we have a YouTube channel so people can watch, but if you just want to do audio, that's fine. And the cool thing about audio is what I discovered is when people were listening to me, it didn't matter about that disability label that I have. People will hear in my story, people will hear on other stories. And so when people hear your story through just an audio podcast, you can do video later, but when people hear you, the audio, they will listen to you. They will ask you questions about your story and other stories. So I highly recommend everybody to get that Anchor app and start your podcast. Start recording your story and sharing it with the mainstream community, because we can make real social change happen.
Okay, so I did the other way around. I started with video.
Oh, that's.
I started with video. What would you recommend me as a person who's starting with video?
So
I know.
Yeah.
I know you.
Video
probably have or not.
Yeah, video is awesome. I also do video too, like along the same lines with the audio podcast, and I have other friends that also do video too. Video is awesome. I'm trying to see if I can understand your question, but it's, I would say keep doing the video, keep sharing those video shows. If you want to add the audio podcast to it, that's awesome. But keep always trying to improve and keep engaging with more people, not just your friends that also have challenges like you and me, but also people who don't have that disability label. Engage with them and have them not only as guests on your show, whether it's a video show or an audio show, but also have them share your content, share your shows, and that will also help as well.
Okay, how long did it? Thank you. I appreciate that. The next question is, how long did it take you to become an advocate person for Special Olympics?
So I became an athlete leader 12 years ago when I created Special Chronicles in that first year. So 12 years ago, and I went through a beginning athlete leadership training and all these different trainings to finally now, as a Southern Survivor International Global Messenger, even trained at the international level. But there's a bunch of these athlete leadership trainings that I have gone through, that I have participated in through the years, and all of that, along with my journalism training, has really helped me to be I think on the last webinar that I was on just an hour ago with Special Olympics, someone said that I was I think actually our CEO Mary Davis said that I was a communications expert, which I never really thought of myself as that, but I guess I am now, 12 years later. So I believe I answered your question correctly.
Okay, thank you. The next question comes from a dear friend of mine, TJ. He says, besides crowdfunding and getting sponsors, how can one make money from self-advocacy podcasts if they want to make a living?
So if you want to make money from your self-advocacy work, or like through the podcast or the audio podcast shows or the video shows, one thing is you can't. So now Special Chronicles is a nonprofit, so we have kind of that going for us. But have use something like PayPal that's safe, and you can put like a virtual tip jar, like just put like a PayPal link where people can donate to you, like on PayPal. That's one thing. You can also connect with like ComEd for example, and be an energy force, and so like they can, so like companies like ComEd can sponsor or partner the work that you do. So together, find companies like ComEd, but then I'll also just ask your listeners, ask your friends and your family to donate to you, like on PayPal. I don't. You might see something online that a lot of content creators are using something called Patreon, but I don't recommend that you use Patreon, because my business manager, who is also my dad, heard a lot of stuff that's not good about Patreon. So don't use Patreon. But I recommend that you use PayPal, and use PayPal to get people to help to donate.
Okay. I see that we have 2 hands raised. Unfortunately, we cannot unmute you. So if you can put your question on the chat, I would greatly appreciate it. Let me see. Let me go to the next question. Let's see here. Do you have a YouTube channel?
Yes, I do. So not me personally, but the Special Chronicles platform, the Special Chronicles network. At Special Chronicles, we have a YouTube channel, and if you just go to specialchronicles.com, and at the top, you can click on the YouTube link. So if you go to, you see on your screen to the left of me and Missy, the translator, to the left of us, or it could be to the right of us. I don't know how you guys see it, but that website, if you go to specialchronicles.com, at the top is all of our social media links, and just click the YouTube button link thing at the button at the top, and that will take you to our YouTube channel, and you can subscribe and like and comment and share.
Okay. I want to do my own podcast. What's your advice?
Advice for your own podcast? Well, great question. Start with coming up with a mission for what you want to talk about. Come up with a list of topics. That's how I started. I started just talking about my story and things I was interested in, like photography and people's stories, and but start with finding out what that purpose and mission is, and then get that Anchor app that we put in the chat here previously, and download that Anchor app to your phone and start recording and getting it uploaded. When you do start recording and pushing that podcast out with the Anchor app, send me an email or reach out to me on social media and let me know when you have your show up, and we will share it on our Special Chronicles social media and our Special Chronicles newsletter. We'll share it with our audience. Yeah.
Okay. Trying to see if there's any more questions.
Great questions.
Any more questions, anyone? Okay. How do you get started?
How do I get started with
podcast, I guess.
Well, is it how do I get started, or how do you, as a self-advocate, get started?
As a self-advocate.
So I guess kind of like the previous question, just start like with something simple like this Encore app. I really feel like Encore should be sponsoring Special Chronicles with all this free promotion they're getting. But start with something simple. I mean, it doesn't have to be complicated like how I started. Like you see here, all this equipment that I have. It doesn't have to be, but just get something simple. Make sure that the audio quality is. Make sure that you don't just record it into your phone. Make sure that you have some type of microphone that you can plug into your phone to make sure that you have that high quality. Because yes, content is key, but you also want to make sure that you don't have a lot of background noise. That you're in a quiet room, like this studio that I'm in. But yeah, just get that Encore app and start your show.
I got one very last question for you, and the question is, what do you think your main goal of your podcast is?
The main goal, great question, and I'll try to be brief because I see that we are running at the top of the hour or bottom of the hour. But the main goal, what I see as the main goal of my podcast and of this platform on Special Chronicles is to be a guide to be a weekly guide to my audience in showing joy, acceptance, and inclusion, and showing that those of us with disabilities bring unconditional love to everybody, including, especially now, today, now more than ever, there's so many people that will show us hate, and we need to be that light, to really show love to people that show us hate. That and being that guide of acceptance, joy, and inclusion, but really showing love to everybody. That's what I think. Together with the mission of giving respect and voice to people with disabilities, but really showing love and joy and acceptance and inclusion to everybody. That's what I believe is when it comes down to it, that's what I think the real goal and mission that I am grateful to have started 12 years ago and continue every day with this mission.
Well, on behalf of everyone here, including myself, I want to say thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And I want to leave it to the next person.
Okay, we have coming up a 15-minute break while we get ready for Peter Leidy. Woohoo! We are going to have a blast, and thank you, Daniel. We will also share with you all of the compliments that came in while you were speaking and how excited everybody is. So this was great, and we will see you at 11:15, everybody.
Thank you. Until next week, remember, choose to include
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Let me tell you what this song's about. People starting to scream and shout. Say it loud so there is no doubt. Speak up. Speak out. That's it. Speaking up can be anyone's choice, even if you can't use your voice. So many ways to make some noise. Hey, speak up and speak out. Yeah, we're saying no to segregation, saying no to discrimination. And yes, we've got determination. Speak up. Speak up and speak out. We believe in choice and in freedom, got principles and values, and we heed them, enlisting folks everywhere because we need them. Speak up and speak out. We've been doing a lot of thinking, want to see the institutions shrinking. That's how it should be in the land of Lincoln. Speak up and speak out. Now. We stand for equality, we stand for rights and dignity, we stand for community, yeah.
Speak up.
Speak up.
Speak out.
Speak out.
We have the spirit and we're going to use it. We want freedom and we're going to choose it. We got momentum and they can't refuse it. Speak up. Speak out.
Speak out.
Speak up. Speak out.
Speak out.
Speak up. Speak out. Hey.
Woo!
That's it for this week's episode of the Special Chronicles podcast. I hope you enjoyed listening to my keynote from the 2020 Speak Up and Speak Out Summit. You can find today's show notes along with links to follow us on social media, join our newsletter, and discover over a decade of podcasts, blogs, and original series at specialchronicles.com. That's specialchronicles.com. This podcast is made possible thanks to the generous support of our community of partners and sponsors, including the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program, the country's first energy and solar efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities, and United Airlines Bridge Disability Business Resource Group, connecting people of all abilities. If you found this episode meaningful, please share it with your friends and family, and be sure to subscribe so you never miss a future conversation. We have some exciting episodes coming to you this month in September, including about this Wings for All event. With the executive director of the Elk of Illinois is coming up next week, as well as you hear from Captain Tate, United Airlines Captain Tate, about this Wings for All event. And then at the end of the month, we will celebrate International Podcast Day with a new 5-minute speech that I gave and a rebroadcasted episode about podcasting will be coming up at the end of the month. So stay tuned to that, as well as we've got some exciting content planned for you in October that is currently in the works. So don't forget to follow and subscribe so you don't miss a new episode. And until next time, remember, we're giving respect and voice to people with special needs. I'm Daniel, your host and founder of Special Chronicles. We'll catch you next time right here on specialchronicles.com. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Special Chronicles podcast. Our podcast was produced by Daniel Smrokowski on the Special Chronicles Network. Follow Special Chronicles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Subscribe, rate, and review Special Chronicles on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Our website, specialchronicles.com, where you can stream our archives of over 500 episodes for absolutely for free. Also, there's a list of our favorites, original series, award-winning columns, and blogs. And sign up for our newsletter to receive exclusive bonus content delivered to your inbox. Again, specialchronicles.com. Special Chronicles is hosted by Podbean Podcast Hosting. Our live streams are powered by StreamYard. Thanks, as always, to our business manager, Adam Smrokowski, who always encourages us to never give up. I'm Daniel Smrokowski, back next week with more stories.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.